Okay, so serum, bam, utility, bam, saturator, imager, decimal, EQ8, glue. Recently, I've been doing a lot of studio sessions with artists, and that usually means working really quick to get ideas down. Now, I've always tried to find the quickest and simplest way of doing things in Ableton, and this is by far the best tip I can give for that. It involves a shortcut that you probably already know, combined with another feature that I still find myself showing people that makes it a killer workflow move. So you must all know that Command F on a Mac and Control F on a Windows opens up the browser and gets you straight into the search. By using the keyboard, you can pretty much find anything to then put on your track. So say, for example, let's put a utility on this track. I search up util, so U-T-I-L, and I can see at the top of the list there is utility. Then all you need to do is hit enter or down key, and that takes you into those search results. And you can use the up and down arrow keys to find the item that you want to. So for example, utility is at the top of the list. If I hit enter, it will then add it onto the track. Then say I want to put serum on this track, for example. Well, all I need to do then is do Command F again. It takes me back to that search field, and I can search up serum, for example. And then at the top of the list is serum within there. So I can go and just hit down or enter again, and then add it straight onto my track. That's the part that probably most of you already know about, so I'm not telling you anything new. But however, combining it with this next feature, and it just makes it so much more powerful. By the way, if the sound in this video is better than normal, it's because I'm using this Rode Wireless Pro mic. Big thanks to Rode for sending it through. I honestly think it's better than the DJI mics I was using previously. So where this next feature comes in really handy is if you're searching for something that has a lot of results. For example, if I search for Ozone, for example. Now I have several different versions of Ozone installed, and also I've got all the different modules as well. So as you can see here, there's just so many. And because it's in alphabetical order, Ozone 9 is at the top of the list. I actually have Ozone 11, so I'd have to scroll all the way down to get that. That's where this next feature comes in really handy, and it'll honestly make using the browser so much easier for you. If I go up to the header here where it says name and right click on here, there is another column that I can add called rank. Now rank is basically how much you use a certain plugin, sample, or whatever is in that browser. At the moment you can see the little arrow here is actually on the name column, so it's sorting by alphabetical. However, if I click on the rank column here, it will then show the items that I use the most at the top of the list. As you can see here, the most used thing I have is Ozone 11, followed by the Ozone 11 imager. Both of those I use all the time. So not only are you getting the search results for what you want, but you're also getting the things that you use the most at the top of that list. So let's clear that search and close the browser, and I'll just show you how quick this is to use. So for example, on this track, maybe I want an Ozone imager. So now I can do the Command and F, and I can type in Ozone, hit the down key, and I'm already on Ozone 11, or I can get the imager in there, for example. One click, straight in. Now if I go back into the browser and search up Ozone again, you'll see that imager is at the top of the list. It's kind of registering what you used last along with how much you use it to then give you the best possible results. That's how well this kind of rank works. But it works across everything. For example, say I'm looking for an EQ. Let's go and sort this by name again. And if I search for EQ, I get channel EQ at the top of the list. Now I never use channel EQ. I almost always use EQ8 or neutron EQ. So if I sort it by rank, you'll now see that I've got EQ8 at the top of that list, so I can add it really, really quickly. Now it still pushes native plugins to the top of the list, even though you've got them ranked separately. As I showed you earlier with the search for Ozone, I can just hit Command and F and type in NEU. Just 3 letters, and it brings up Neutron, all my Neutron instances, and it's actually ranked by the ones that I use the most. So I've got the Neutron equalizer in there, Neutron 4, and the gate. Those are the modules that I use most within the Neutron range. And with this ranking system, you can pretty much find anything you want to within the first 2 or 3 characters. So for example, rather than typing Ozone, I can type in OZ, and it has everything there. Or if I wanted the auto filter, AUT. If I wanted Auto Tune Pro, TUN. And you kind of get used to these kind of really quick ways of finding things. So let's get an EQ8 on this, for example, and then get a reverb, and then get an auto tune, then maybe a saturator. As you can see, it's dead simple to do. And once you get used to it, inserting anything into your session becomes proper quick. And believe me, I've tried most of the launchers and shortcut plugins that have come out, but still nothing really beats this method for me. You already have your hands on the keyboard most of the time anyway, so you don't need to move to the mouse and then bring up a window of shortcuts and then find the one that you want want to. In fact, it almost becomes like muscle memory. You think of a plugin, hit Command F, enter the first 3 characters, enter, and then it inserts what you want into your track's effect chain. And that's it. It's a pretty simple tip, but it's sped up my workflow no end.